Now that the Yankees know that they're going to be without Gerrit Cole for the season due to Tommy John surgery, the Yankees have a decision to make. Are they going to seek a trade? Are they going to look for a free agent? Or are they going to roll with what they've got? That's the question that needs to be answered. And we'll take a look at who the possibilities are for potential free agent signings. As we've already talked about the fact that Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins could be a trade possibility. But there are also free agents out there that could be on the Yankees roster before you know it. You never know. You never know. But we'll talk about that on this edition of Yankees Unplugged. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Yankees Unplugged, powered by Coming Out the Podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Let's jump in on what's popping in New York City. Well, right now, Tampa, technically, because we are still in spring training. But obviously, we all know by now Gerrit Cole is out for the year. This is still a depressing thought to accept with how much and how high the expectations were for this particular season. But there are some free agents out there, and they could be pitchers that the Yankees might take a look at. Now, obviously, none of these pitchers are in their prime. None of these pitchers are coming off being monsters, but they could be options for the Yankees because let's face it, the Yankees went from having the best starting rotation to one that now has some question marks, to say the least, because it's not just Gerrit Cole who's out, but Luis Gil is also out for at least 3 months. The way I view it, I look at Luis Gil as if we get him back, we are very, very lucky because 3 months is what? July? If you get him back in July, are you going to get anywhere near the level of guy that you want? We shall see. We don't know. But there's 5 free agents that have been talked about recently in an article by Yankees on SI, the Sports Illustrated site for the New York Yankees. And they are as follows. Kyle Gibson, he's 37 years old. He's a pitcher who, if he stays healthy, he takes the ball and he eats up innings. Could be a good fifth starter. Last year he was 8-8 with the Cardinals. He's with a 4.24 ERA in 30 starts. Year before that he was 15-9 with a 4.73 ERA with the Baltimore Orioles. If you get a pitcher that can eat up some innings for you, that's a big thing because the Yankees are very, very well known by now to wear their bullpens out. And we all know how Aaron Boone gets with the bullpen. He likes to run it into the ground. And typically by June or July, that bullpen is dead. DOA. They are dead on arrival. They are gassed and they go through a funk in which they can't get anybody out. We've seen it year after year after year after year. So that could be an option. Another option is Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin's 35 years old. He led the National League or the majors in losses for 3 straight seasons. From 21 to 23, he was 6-13 with a 5.62 ERA last season with the Washington Nationals. I remember when Patrick Corbin was a pitcher that everybody wanted. Oh my goodness, the way the world changes. I mean, man, oh man, I remember when he was way up on priority lists for people. But, he went to Washington and flat out sucked. So if you were going to give me a list, he'd probably be at the bottom of it when it comes to looking for someone to bring in. But he is an option. Now, you look at a guy like Lance Lynn, a guy who played for the Yankees, no less. Oh my God! There's so many guys that played for the Yankees, and you wonder why didn't the Yankees keep him? Because after he pitched for the Yankees, he went over to the Rangers and was 16-11, 6-3, 11-6 with the White Sox, 8-7 with the White Sox. He had one rough year, then he was 7-2 with the Dodgers and 7-4 with the Cardinals last year. He is a guy that throws hard. We all know that Lance Lynn can throw hard. We all know that he strikes dudes out. That has been something he's always been able to do. He can throw that ball with some. He throws it hard. But he's going to be 38. So who knows? He had 23 starts last year, but he was an all-star in 2021. So he could be a guy to look at because he'll get up on the gun. I mean, he's always been one to get up on the gun. Maybe we bring him back to New York and he pitches well for us, but we shall see. Another one is Zach Davies. Zach Davies didn't pitch in the majors last year, but he has a career 60-58 record with a 4.36 ERA. Again, remember, we're looking for a fifth starter. We're not looking for a first starter. We're looking for someone to fill in the back of the rotation. So Zach Davies could be an option. And the final option is the name you know. I remember a movie called what was that movie with Eddie Murphy where his name is Jeff Johnson, and he ran for politics. He ran for congressman, and he wins the congressman seat, and he's the name you know, Jeff Johnson. We know who Jeff Johnson is, right? Well, in this case, our Jeff Johnson is Domingo Germán. God, I remember Domingo Germán, 18-4 in 2019, and then Domingo Germán did stuff. He was 0-1 last year. It's set with a 7.84 ERA, 2 starts. Who the hell knows what you got from Domingo Germán? He's still not old. He's only 32, but he basically hasn't really done anything in quite some time. I mean, 23, he was with the Yankees. It was 5-7, with a 4.56 ERA. And 22, he was 2-5 with a 3.61 ERA. 21, he was 4-5. We all know he had his off the field issues, melted down. Last year he did nothing. But if they can figure out how to work with him, we shall see. He could be someone that they might consider bringing back for a very, very low price. So those are some options for free agency. Of course, there are other options for trades. I would stick to the one where I talked about yesterday, Sandy Alcantara. Sandy Alcantara is someone that I would absolutely be looking at, and I would make that trade for what was talked about yesterday in a second. But we shall see. So you let me know your thoughts. What do you think of these free agents? Would you take a crack at any of them, or would you stand pat, or would you be looking for a trade? Love to hear your comments. Love to hear your thoughts. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, ring that bell, leave a comment, and let me know your thoughts. Appreciate y'all. This is Yankees Unplugged. Come on now.